On the news tonight, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdul Razak announces release of 38 abducted worshippers of Christ Apostolic Church in Ruku. 50 of the abducted school pupils of Catholic primary and secondary schools in Niger State reportedly escaped. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and Federal Inland Revenue Service clashed over engagement of Express Payment Solutions Limited as new Treasury single account collecting agent. On the foreign scene, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa hails G20 summit declaration as a reflection of a renewed commitment to multilateral cooperation. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Okwayemuni. Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdul Razak has announced the release of 38 abducted worshippers of the Christ Apostolic Church, Eruku, the Ekiti local government area of the state. The victims, who were kidnapped during a recent attack on the church, regained their freedom on Sunday after days of what the governor described as intense collaboration among security agencies and government authorities. Governor Abdul Razak attributed a successful rescue operation to what he called President Bola Tinubu's hands-on approach, saying the president personally led effort to secure the release of the abducted persons. He also thanked security operatives, community leaders, religious bodies, and residents of Kwara State for their support throughout the ordeal. Earlier, the Christian Association of Nigeria strongly condemned the violent attack on CAC in Eruku Town, Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, describing the incident as both heartbreaking and sad. The attack, which occurred during a prayer service, reportedly left some worshippers dead and an unspecified number abducted, shocking the Christian community and highlighting persistent insecurity in vulnerable regions. Meanwhile, the Christ Apostolic Church CAC Okeshegun Eruku in Kwara State today held a special service inside its blood-splattered auditorium, praying for the safe return of kidnapped members and the repose of those killed during Tuesday's brutal bandit attack. The church officially confirmed that 38 worshippers were abducted, contrary to earlier claims circulated on social media. The church secretary, Michael Agbabiaka, said the church initially compiled 35 names of abducted members, but further verification revealed that 39 members were also taken, bringing the total number of hostages to 38. Mr. Agbabiaka further disclosed that the kidnappers, who initially demanded 100 million naira per victim, later reduced the ransom to 20 million naira each after negotiations before cutting off communication on Friday. Earlier during the service, the presiding pastor, Bamidele Lawrence, described the attack as a test of faith for the congregation. One of the affected worshippers, James Sige, whose wife and son were among those abducted, pleaded with the authorities to intensify rescue efforts. 50 of the abducted school pupils of St. Mary Catholic Church, Catholic primary and secondary schools, Niger State, have reportedly escaped from their captors and have reunited with their parents. The Niger State chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria and Bishop of Kontagora Diocese, Most Reverend Bulus Joanna, made this known in a statement issued by his media aide, Daniel Atori. He stated that they discovered the development after visiting the parents of the children. Bishop Joanna explained that the school currently has 236 pupils in captivity, including 3 children belonging to staff members and 14 secondary students, making a total of 253 children and 12 staff members still held by the abductors. While expressing relief at the return of the 50 children, he appealed for continued prayers for those still held. Meanwhile, Pope Leo XIV had called for the release of hostages taken from St. Mary's Catholic primary and secondary schools in Niger State, describing the occurrence as sad.
And I've learned with great sadness the news of the kidnappings of priests, faithful, and students in Nigeria and Cameroon. I experienced their deep pain and for all these young people who've been kidnapped and for their families who are so worried. I make a heartfelt appeal so that they may be released immediately and that the authorities can take the right decisions, appropriate decisions to assure their release. We pray for these, our brothers and sisters, and so that everywhere churches and schools may always be places of safety and of hope.
In the meantime, families have been evacuating their children from the Federal Government Girls College, Kwara, on the outskirts of Abuja, as security concerns in the area grew. According to reports, the scene outside the school gate was marked by anxious parents carrying luggage, assisting their children and making arrangements to return home. Many students, some still in uniform, packed belongings into vehicles, while others helped classmates gather their items. The federal government on Friday ordered the immediate shutdown of 47 federal unity colleges nationwide, including FGGC, Kwara. The directive was contained in a circular signed by the Director of Senior Secondary Education, Binta Abducted. In the meantime, the founder of Living Faith Church Worldwide and senior pastor of Faith Tabernacle, Bishop David Oyedepo, has condemned the rising wave of killings and insecurity across the country, calling for a 7-day nationwide prayer for divine intervention. Speaking during the 4th pre-Shiloh Encounter service on November 23, 2025, Bishop Oyedepo expressed deep concern over persistent attacks on worshippers and communities. The cleric condemned the perpetrators of the attacks and those he accused of sponsoring the violence, pronouncing a curse on them. He lamented the rise in kidnappings, which he said had turned into big-time business, with criminals demanding huge ransoms from poor communities. Bishop Oyedepo vowed that attacks on church members would no longer go unanswered, saying a spiritual operation will commence at midnight.
The Church of Christ in Nigeria is indestructible. The gates of hell cannot prevail against it. Nigeria will never become an Islamic state. Never, never, never. The battle is raging. Islamic jihadists are running. Amekoka prodianota. But we belong to a higher realm of authority. Zevo Kitenao. Epla Koradita. Zazuzianoka. 5 people shot dead in church last week. 35 abductees. Can't tell where they are. And they are demanding 100 million from a village setting. Amoki Katoga, Paroti Keneto, every perpetrator of these killings and their sponsors come under a curse today.
A fresh bandit attack has struck farming communities in the Wasagu area of Kebbi State, resulting in the reported abduction of 8 farmers and the shooting of another. The chairman of Danko Wasagu local government, Zaini Aliyu Bena, said the attackers struck early in the afternoon on Saturday while farmers were on their fields. He further confirmed that the incident was immediately reported to the military who were in the area on operation, and they were in pursuit of the bandits with a mission to get the victims freed unhurt. Community members say the gunmen, suspected to have crossed in from neighboring Zamfara state, operated for several minutes before escaping with their victims. The latest attack follows an incident earlier this month in which more than 40 residents were abducted in the same axis, deepening concerns about worsening insecurity in the area. In Edo State, the Special Security Squad has arrested 2 suspected kidnappers in the Egbai community of their northeast local government area. In a statement by Governor Monday Okpebolo's Chief Press Secretary, Fred Itua, the security outfit also demolished the property used as an operational base by the kidnappers in the area According to the statement, the suspected kidnappers were arrested following what security authorities described as high-level intelligence-driven surveillance. When they were paraded, the suspects confessed to their role in the abduction of one Blessing Nosa, for whose release a ransom of 30 million naira was collected. The duo sealed their fate after allegedly abducting another business person and demanding a 500 million naira ransom, an act that triggered an expanded multi-agency response and sustained tracking that culminated in their arrest. Staying with security, troops of 6th Brigade Nigerian Army, Sector 3 Operation War Stroke, have arrested a wanted kidnapping suspect, Umar Musa Gay, in Wukari local government area of Taraba State. The arrest is part of successful operations recorded under the newly launched Operation Zafin Wuta. The suspect, who has been on the wanted list of security agencies, is believed to be a key member of a kidnapping syndicate that has terrorized several communities within the area. A statement by the brigade's public relations officer, Lieutenant Umar Muhammad, said preliminary investigations indicate that the suspect is linked to the kidnapping of Alhaji Jano, a Fulani resident of the Jande Kulala general area, who was abducted on November 13, 2025, and remains in captivity. The suspect was arrested after troops intercepted him during a phone conversation in which he confirmed the victim was still being held and demanded a ransom of 20 million naira for his release. The suspect is in custody undergoing further interrogation to determine the exact location of the victim and facilitate his safe rescue. The Defense Headquarters has dismissed claims that the Nigerian military plans to forcibly recruit citizens from the age of 18, describing the report as completely false. Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Sumaila Uba, verified that a video circulating online, which falsely attributed the statement to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lufemi Oluyede, was both fabricated and manipulated. Brigadier General Uba emphasized that the military remains a noble profession, attracting thousands of patriotic Nigerians who willingly enlist in its ranks through formal recruitment exercises across the Nigerian Army, Air Force, and Navy. He also stressed that the fake video and statement were clearly intended to damage the reputation of the CDS and portray the military negatively. Highlighting the dangers of disinformation in the age of artificial intelligence, he urged Nigerians to verify sources before sharing content. An unspecified number of police officers have been killed in an ambush by suspected bandits on Saturday night in Papa ward of Zarazo local government area of Bauchi State. Spokesman for the Bauchi State Police Command, Ahmed Wakili, confirmed the incident on Sunday. According to him, the Commissioner of Police is at the scene for an on-the-spot assessment, after which more details, including the number of casualties, will be made available. Elsewhere, in a major nationwide offensive against drug trafficking, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have dismantled 6 criminal syndicates, seizing tons of assorted illicit drugs and arresting 9 kingpins. The arrests were made during a series of intelligence-led operations targeting drug networks across the country. Spokesman of the agency, Femi Babafemi, while making this known in a statement, said in one of such operations, NDLEA officers on 18th November 2025 arrested two members of a drug trafficking organization in Onitsha, Anambra State. He said the suspects were arrested when they showed up to take delivery of 5.40 kilograms of methamphetamine, 10.70 kilograms of loud, a strong strain of cannabis, and 16 grams of cocaine. In another operation at the Lagos airport, he said NDLEA operatives on 20th November intercepted a brake servo automobile part used to conceal 48 pellets and a block of cocaine with a gross weight of 2.30 kilograms, bagged among other auto parts, going to Gabon. He noted that following the arrest of a freight agent, Ame Solomon, who presented the consignment for export, A follow-up at the Trade Fair Complex, Ojo, Lagos, led to the arrest of an auto parts dealer, Nwafo Tuchuku Boniface. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikwe Ekpo, has expressed deep sorrow over the deadly gas explosion that rocked the Onara area of Ibadan, Oyo State last Friday, describing the tragedy as needless and preventable. In a statement by spokesperson Louis Iba, the minister condoled with the Oyo State government, families of the deceased, and scores of injured residents who are currently battling for survival after the blast. It disclosed that the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority had commenced a comprehensive probe to determine the cause and identify those responsible. According to preliminary findings, the incident occurred while a gas tanker was offloading liquefied petroleum gas within a thickly populated neighborhood. The explosion ripped through homes, shops, and nearby church, sparking panic across the community as residents fled for safety. Special Advisor to the Governor on Fire Reform and Chairman of the Fire Services Agency, Maruf Akiwande, said that 3 lives were lost. Still to come, police operatives apprehend two suspects in connection with violent attack and robbery during performance by popular Fuji musician Obeshiri in Ondo State. We'll bring you more on this when we return.